What's up, y'all? It's your boy Tevin Jameer back at it again with another episode of the Hate It or Love It podcast. And today, as y'all can see, my face, I'm back on the camera. Um, like I said, man, this year I really want to I want to go back to being consistent, like very consistent with the podcast, like giving you episodes consistently on Tuesdays. If, just like last year, if I have to do it Friday, then I'll do it Friday. But I really want to stay consistent with Tuesday. And I really also want to stay consistent with being on the camera. Um, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I told y'all this plenty of times, but like it is so tempting to just do audio episodes only just because like all you got to do is plug in. I mean, you just got to turn on your laptop, plug in the mic, and then you could just, record. But I know I started out this podcast with video episodes with me on the camera. Also, a while back I did polls on my Instagram basically saying like asking y'all, did y'all like more video episodes like with my face on the screen, or do y'all like audio only episodes? And majority of people, it wasn't even a close choice. Like most people said that they like, me showing up on camera. So, that's another thing that I want to stay consistent with. I don't want to be lazy, even if I have to set up like the day before I record, which I did that last night. I was like, okay, Tevin, you really need to get on camera. So set up everything the night before. That way, when you come home and you get off work, you can just go straight to recording. So that's what I'm doing. But man, I'm rambling right now. But first off, I want to say Happy New Year. I know this will be my first video in the brand new year. So Happy New Year. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Um, Also, by the time I release this episode, New Jersey, I don't know if I don't know if it's just New Jersey, but I know like a winter storm is coming. So I know majority or all of New Jersey is going to feel this winter storm coming on. And I don't know if any other states around us is going to get this winter storm as well. But if you guys were affected by the storm, and by the time this episode released, the storm will have already passed. But if you guys were affected by the storm, I hope you guys are doing safe. I hope you guys are safe. I hope you guys are doing well. Um, but yeah, man, let's get into it. As you guys can see in the title, I'll be talking about my top 10 most anticipated films of this year. Um, Before I really get into it, I do have some honorable mentions. And I do also want to say that these are not in any particular order. My top 10, they're not in any particular order. Though I do have one that I am anticipating the most out of the whole year. But when I get to that film, I'll tell y'all which one it is. But yeah, y'all know I'm a big film person. I love films. And I'm still gonna do my ranking. I'm still gonna do my letterbox. Follow me on letterbox if you guys aren't. But I'm still gonna do the same thing I've done for the past 2 years, watching as many movies as I can this year, rating them, putting them on my letterbox. Um, I don't know if I announced it already, but I am planning on going back to school. So if that pans out well, then sadly, Mystery Movie Mondays will probably have to take a break. But being able to eventually get a better job and stuff like that, that's going to be worth it than, skipping out on Mystery Movie Mondays. But regardless, I'm still going to watch as many movies as I can, and I'm still going to give y'all, updates and stuff like that. Also, before I really get into it, I want to ask y'all real quick. For anybody that's subbed to me, anybody that's like returning fans, do you guys actually want me to do like actual movie reviews? Because I was talking about this with my friend like a day or two ago, and he hears how passionately I talk about movies, and he sees that I go to the movies regularly to see movies, and I got a big film collection, so I'm always like I'm always doing something film related. I'm always watching movies. So he asked me like, Tevin, why don't you do actual like movie reviews? And I was like, I do, like, sometimes I do it for my podcast. Like if I really like a movie enough, or if I feel strongly about a movie enough, I'll talk about it on my podcast. And he was like, that's cool, but like actual movie reviews, like something like Chris Stuckman or Jeremy Johns does. So I'm toying with the idea. If you guys want to see stuff like that, then let me know down below. But yeah, man, I done enough talking. Let's get to my honorable mentions, and then let's get to these top 10, most anticipated films. So I got four honorable mentions, and obviously I'll tell y'all what the movie is, and then I'll like tell you why it didn't crack my top 10. But my first honorable mention is Presence. It's a neon. I think it's being released by Neon, but it's a neon horror film that's coming out at the end of this month, and it's about a family that moves into a new house, or at least from all the marketing I've seen, it looks like it's about a family that moves into a new house. But the thing that's significant about this movie is it kind of takes the in a violent nature approach where the audience, we're watching the movie in the ghost's point of view. Like the thing that's haunting them, we're watching it in that point of view. And that sounds very interesting. And just like I talked about literally in my last video, my last Blu-ray update video, um, I love movies like that where they put you in the perspective of, you know, the horrific thing. Like in a violent nature, I love that movie so much because we watched it in the killer's point of view, and it was very different from a lot of slasher movies. So with this movie, us being in the perspective of the ghost or the demon that's you know, haunting the family, that sounds like a really cool concept. So why is it not in my top 10? Only reason is just because it's coming out literally at the end of this month. Like it's not really too much of something that I have to anticipate if it's coming out like that quickly into the year. Like a lot of the movies on my list, I didn't check where all of them is being released, but majority of the movies on my top 10 list are movies that are coming out during the summer or coming out during the fall. And to be honest, if it's coming out literally, you know, within the next month, it's like, why put that on a high anticipated list? So I am very much anticipating it, but if it's coming out at the end of this month, then that's not really too long of a wait. But yeah, Presence, that's the first one on my honorable mentions. Second, we got Sinners. A new film from Ryan Coogler starring Michael B. Jordan. And let me tell you this, Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler, they always create magic together. Ryan Coogler, which I said it on my Blu-ray collection video, Ryan Coogler is like one of my favorite directors of this generation. He's definitely not even of just this generation, but like one of my favorite directors in general. Like he's up there with Jordan Peele, and you know, he's usually working with Michael B. Jordan. You know, they made Fruitvale Station together, one of my favorite films of all time. They made the first Creed movie, and then Michael B. Jordan went on to direct Creed 3. I know there was a different director for Creed 2, but Ryan Coogler basically, like, I think he stayed a producer through all three films, so he still had his hand in those films. Um, he also did the Black Panther films, which Michael B. Jordan also starred in. The first one as Killmonger. So, oh yeah, and he made a cameo in the second one. So pretty much those two have always worked together, and whenever they work together, they always create magic. So I don't doubt that this one is going to be magic either. Sinners already looks pretty good. Um, the only reason that this isn't in my top 10 is one, I think this one comes out in February. I may be wrong, but I think this one comes out in February. And also, this is more of a period piece film, which I'm not the biggest fan of period piece films. I'll still go see them. Obviously, I'm still anticipating this movie, but it is a period piece film, and I'm just like, okay, like I don't know. The period piece films just isn't too much of my thing, but I'm still willing to check this out just because it is Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler together. It's a horror movie and it's a vampire horror movie. And some actors, which I'm a very big person on like trying to get black actors on screen and stuff like that. I noticed that some of the actors in this movie were like actors that we haven't seen since the 2000s. So, you know, there's just a lot of different reasons for why I'm anticipating this movie, but really this one is coming out soon as well. And then also because it's a period piece movie, like that kind of brought it down a little bit on my list. But either way, I still am looking forward to seeing it. And you know, I feel like it's gonna definitely be somewhere in my top 15 for this year. Next we got Thunderbolts, which I'm gonna keep this one short, sweet, and simple. To be honest, this one didn't crack my top 10. Like I'm very much looking forward to it because it's like a ragtag team of like villains and people that aren't seen as heroes in the MCU coming together to, you know, for a mission and stuff like that. I do like the unorthodox group type movies where they have to work together and stuff like that. I am very much into films like that. It's just majority of the characters on this team I don't really care for at all. Like the main draws for this movie for me is really Black Widow, which, Florence Pugh's character, now she's the new Black Widow, but Florence Pugh's character, I think her name is Yelena, and then Bucky, Captain America's friend. Um they're the only two that I'm really like caring for that much in this film. The rest of the team is just kind of or whatever. So, I am looking forward to it. It definitely looks like it's going to be a good movie, but it's just like compared to the rest of the other films, this just couldn't crack my top 10. And then the last honorable mention that I have is How to Train Your Dragon. Now, for me, growing up, How to Train Your Dragon was a movie that I did not expect to like when I was younger, but I definitely wound up liking it. I've seen it multiple times in theaters, and it's definitely like one of DreamWorks' best movies, in my opinion. I didn't see How to Train Your Dragon 2 or 3, so I can't really speak on those, but this is a live action remake of the first movie, and the trailer definitely looked good, but the reason that this didn't make my top 10 is just because this looks like it's going to be a beat for beat remake of the original. I'm still going to see it, still gonna check it out, but I definitely feel like it's gonna wind up being kind of like what I said about See No Evil last year. And I'm only saying kinda because with See No Evil last year, the American version, I said if you've seen the original version, you really don't need to see the American version, and that you're really just choosing what ending you really want when you choose like between each version. For How to Train Your Dragon, I feel like it's gonna be the same thing where if you've seen the animated one, you don't necessarily need to see the live action one. And I feel like you're really just choosing which visuals really you want to see. Do you want to see a completely animated version of it? Or do you want to see like a live action version where the dragons are still animated, but they look very realistic? Like, I feel like that's what the movie is going to wind up being. I'm still going to check it out. Hopefully there's like new things they're adding to the film, maybe justify the reason for why they're doing a different take of this film. But if it winds up being the same thing, then at least I know I'm going to like it because I like the original. But I may also feel like I'm just wasting my time if it's just a shot for shot remake. But yeah, so there goes my four honorable mentions. Let's get to my 10, which, like I said, these are not in any specific order, but for the one that I am anticipating the most, I'll definitely let y'all know which one that is. But first, we got The Monkey, Osgood Perkins' new film, which I think comes out either in February or March, something like that. But the reason that I'm very much looking forward to this is mostly just off the strength of Long Legs. Osgood Perkins also directed Long Legs from last year, and I think it was like my seventh favorite film from last year in my ranking. I know it was somewhere in my top 10, and it was a 5 out of 5 for me. And I said that movie was literally art. So after seeing Long Legs and then finding out very shortly that this man is like literally about to drop another film so early into next year, I was like, damn. Like, he must have been working on both films at the same time, because how do you put out one movie during the summer and then the very early next year you're going to drop another film? So because I very much enjoyed Long Legs, and also that movie definitely put me on Osgood Perkins' radar, I'm really looking forward to this film. And then also it's based on a Stephen King story, which I wouldn't say that I'm a big fan of Stephen King. I never read any of the books, but I would say that I enjoy a lot of his stories, because a lot of the adaptations that was made from his stories, like films, TV shows, all of that, like I am a fan of like the adaptations that are made from his story. So maybe I would enjoy his stories if I actually read, the books behind them. But because this is a Stephen King story and it's Osgood Perkins directing it, I said, yeah, I definitely got to check this one out. So The Monkey, one of the movies that I'm highly anticipating, and I really hope, I don't think it's gonna be better than Long Legs, because I really like Long Legs a lot, especially more than most people liked it. But I hope it does better than Long Legs. I hope, if it's not better, I hope it's pretty much on par with it, because, you know, very much enjoyed Long Legs. So I really hope I enjoy this one almost just as much. Next, we got Until Dawn, which y'all know I'm a PlayStation fanboy. I don't know if Until Dawn came out on Xbox, but I don't think it did. Until Dawn, I'm a PlayStation fanboy. I love choice-based video games. So seeing that Until Dawn is getting like a film adaptation was definitely something that I was not expecting. But seeing that, it's getting a film adaptation, I'm really looking forward to it because I love the video game. I played it like twice. I played it one time when my friend let me borrow his copy, and then the second time, when I bought it for myself, I played it. And Until Dawn is just one of the best choice-based games, ever in my opinion. I don't think it's better than Telltale's Walking Dead, but it's a very close second in my opinion. And it has a cast of like actors that a lot of people love. I don't know if the cast from the game is coming back to play these roles, but I'm very much looking forward to it just because I love the game Until Dawn. And I'm very much interested in seeing what's going to be considered canon for the film because, like I said, it's a very choice based game. The ending can be different from like which characters in your playthrough dies or lives. You can have all the characters live, you can have all of them die, you can have some of them die, and sometimes the ending can be affected by that. So I'm very much interested in seeing like what direction the writers and actors and all the creatives behind the movie. I'm very interested in seeing like what direction they take the movie, seeing how like when you do a movie of a choice-based game, you're basically saying like these are the choices that matter to us. So very much interested in seeing that. If Hayden Panettiere comes back, keep her alive throughout the whole movie because even in the game, she was probably one of the smartest characters in the game. So keep her alive. But I feel like they're gonna hurt us and like kill her character off in the movie. But yeah. Next we got the Lilo and Stitch live action remake. Now, you guys may be wondering, Tevin, how did you not put How to Train Your Dragon in the top 10, but you put Lilo and Stitch? I'm gonna be real. I am very biased. I grew up, on the Lilo and Stitch series. I grew up on the movies. I grew up on the television series. I had multiple toys from Lilo and Stitch. Like I was very much a big fan of Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch is like probably top five favorite Disney movies of all time, in my opinion. So seeing this live action remake come out, to be honest, I'm biased. I'm very much looking forward to this, even if it's a shot for shot remake, which I really hope it's not. I really hope it's not. I really hope that. And the only thing really that we got from this movie so far is a teaser, but I hope it's not a shot for shot remake. I hope that there is some new element to the story that they're going to implement. But even if it's shot for shot remake, like I said, Lilo and Stitch is like top five favorite Disney movies of all time in my opinion. So even if it's just the same thing, at least I know I'm going to love it. And the other thing that really makes me like anticipate this movie is that I heard that this movie was originally going to be on Disney Plus, but apparently the script for this movie was so good that Disney decided they had to release this theatrically. So I hope it's not a Moana 2 case where it's like you can tell this was made for Disney Plus and then they said last minute, let's put it in theaters. I really hope that when they made the decision to take it to theaters, they started to put like theatrical like ambitions on the film, like, you know, better writing and acting and all of that. So I hope that this movie isn't just a case of, oh, this really should have just went on Disney Plus. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. Y'all better not let me down because Lilo and Stitch, that's my childhood right there. Disney, I'm not playing with you. I'm not playing with you. Don't let me down. But yeah, next we got Karate Kid Legends, which that was a movie that I was anticipating for a long time, like even when they first announced it. I am very disappointed that the early story idea that I heard, it doesn't seem like they're going to go with that story idea anymore, but the trailer for the movie definitely eased my concerns. Like I said, I originally liked the first idea that I heard about the movie, but then seeing the new direction that they're going in and seeing how they're bringing Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan together, and it seems like they're going to connect both obviously the original Karate Kid and the Cobra Kai series, and they're gonna, connect it to the Jaden Smith Karate Kid, which that was the one that came out when I was a kid. So seeing them like connect both universes together through this story, it definitely looks very interesting. I've seen a lot of people discuss whether Cobra Kai is actually canon to this film. To be honest, even if it is, I don't think they're going to reveal like how I don't think they're going to reveal if it's canon or how much Cobra Kai plays into this movie just because Cobra Kai, the show still needs to end. The show I think is going to end before the movie comes out. So why spoil future events of the universe, you know, before the show ends? So you guys get what I'm saying. I basically feel like the show is going to end, and then we're going to see more of the connections. But from the trailer that we got, it seems like they're keeping like a lot of things under wraps if Cobra Kai is canon. So hopefully we'll see. But whether it's canon or not, I'm still very much, happy that they're at least bringing the original Karate Kid trilogy and the Jaden Smith series together. So whether Cobra Kai is canon to it, I'm still looking forward to it. And honestly, the kid in this movie and the fight scenes in the trailer, it seems like this kid is going to be like one of the best fighters in the Karate Kid universe. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. Um, Next, we got Megan 2.0, which honestly I forgot was even coming out this year until I seen 3C Films um most anticipated film video. Um, and I'm saying a lot. Sorry, y'all. But Megan 2.0, I love the original Megan. Like that was the first movie I think I saw theatrically in 2022. Whenever the movie came out, I remember I saw it in theaters, and that was like my first theater experience that year. And Megan was like I knew I was gonna like it, but I didn't know I would love it that much. Like Megan was definitely a very enjoyable film. So I was really looking forward to the sequel when they teased it at the end of the first film and then when they officially announced it afterwards. Yeah. For this movie, I heard that Megan's gonna be the good character in this version and that she's going to be fighting another AI. So I'm really looking forward to that. The plot sounds interesting. And then also, Megan is just a very funny, like the first film was very funny. So I definitely feel like the second film is going to be funny. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Um, Speaking of funny, next we have now, there is no official title for this film. So I don't even, personally, me, I have this on my list, but I don't even know if this is for sure even coming out this year, and that is the Kendrick Lamar slash Trey Stone and Matt Parker, or Trey Parker and Matt Stone, whatever, the South Park guys. The collab between Kendrick and the South Park guys, they're making a film, or it was announced that they were making a film. Basically, it's like a musical about this guy. I heard conflicting reports. There was but I mean, at the end of the day, the story is still somewhat the same. One report said that a guy and his girlfriend goes to visit a plantation and finds out that this is a black guy and his white girlfriend, that they visit a plantation and they find out that her family actually used to own his family. That was the first story that I heard. But then on another report, I saw that apparently it's just about a guy that works at a plantation, and of course he finds out his white girlfriend, her family used to own his family. So regardless of the setup, basically he finds out that his white girlfriend's family used to own his family. And apparently the movie is supposed to be like a comedy musical, which that was like really one of the reasons I was anticipating this so much, because y'all know I love Kendrick Lamar. He's like one of my favorite artists of all time. Then you got Trey Stone and Matt Parker. Like I gotta look up who's who, but Stone and Parker, the guys behind South Park. South Park is like one of my favorite shows of all time. Not only that, but even the South Park movie is like one of my favorite musicals ever. So hearing that they're all gonna work together on this film together, like that definitely, like as soon as I heard the idea of this film and then finding out that they're all going to be behind it, I was on board from day one from when I first heard this. But the only reason that I'm not sure if this is being made, first off, we never even got a title for the film. We haven't had any on set photos, at least from what I've seen. I never seen anything on set. um Kendrick is like having the best year of his life right now. He recently released GNX. Him and SZA is about to go on tour for the rest of this year. And then he's about to do the Super Bowl in February. And then the guys for South Park now, I mean, I know making South Park episodes are very fast for them, but just hasn't really been any updates on this film. So From what I've seen, it's still apparently going to come out like late in the summer. So I really hope that's the case. I hope we get a trailer soon or something like that. I'm really looking forward to this film. Like I said, it has a lot of people that I love working on this film. So I hope we get a trailer soon. I hope we get or some confirmation that it's still coming out this year. But from what it looks like it's still coming out this year. So it's going to be on my most anticipated list. Um, Next we have the Fantastic Four, the MCU Fantastic Four, which I feel like there's like a second title attached to it, but Fantastic Four, that's all you need to know. I'm really looking forward to this just because I've been waiting for the Fantastic Four to join the MCU for a very long time. I talked about this before. The MCU, I was very late into becoming like a fan of the MCU. But before I was really even into the MCU or even into Marvel stuff, the only characters that I really cared about when I was younger, like before I really got into Marvel, was the Hulk, Spider-Man, and Fantastic Four. Those were the three heroes, or Fantastic Four as a team, but those are the three Marvel properties that I actually cared about before getting into Marvel or the MCU. So I grew up watching the Fantastic Four movies. I watched the old Fantastic Four show. Um, so seeing this new version be made and that apparently they're going to be very integral to this saga of the MCU, like I'm very much looking forward to it. The casting looks on point. Pedro Pascal is in there. Um, the story looks very much on point. I like a lot of the things that I've been hearing about this film. So, regardless of, and also this movie is a period piece, which, like I said before, period pieces be annoying me. But regardless of that, I like a lot of the things I've been hearing about this film, and I'm very much anticipating it. So, and I'm always at MCU movies day one. Like, regardless, I'm always going to see an MCU movie in theaters. Even Captain America, Brave New World, I don't have it nowhere on this list, but I'm still heavily anticipating that film. But I'm definitely seeing Fantastic Four day one. Like, no hesitation. Definitely going to see that. Day one. Next, we have Him, a psychological thriller film that's being produced by Jordan Peele's production company, and it stars Marlon Wayans. And apparently, the story is about a guy that's about to join the NBA, or a basketball player that's about to join the NBA, or something like that. He might be a college basketball player or an NBA player. Just know he's a professional basketball player, and he's being mentored by Marlon Wayans, who's like a legendary basketball player. And that's really all that we know so far. We don't really know the full extent of the story. We just know that this up and comer is being mentored by, a basketball legend, and that it's supposed to be a psychological thriller, and that Marlon Wayans is supposed to play the NBA legend or the basketball legend. And I'm very much looking forward to this for multiple reasons. One, it's produced by Jordan Peele. A lot of produced by Jordan Peele movies are tends to be a lot of my favorite movies, like Honk for Jesus, which I talked about in my last Blu-ray update video. Honk for Jesus was a good movie. Monkey Man, thank God Jordan Peele saved that movie. So, you know, Jordan Peele producing it already got me interested. And then also the biggest reason for me is Marlon Wayans. I'm someone that always says that like comedy actors or comedians are always usually some of the best actors. And for this to be a psychological thriller and that Marlon Wayans is probably going to play more of a serious role this time around. I always been an advocate, like I just said, like comedians are sometimes really the best actors, even when they're not doing comedy films. Like Jim Carrey, Adam Sandler. There's just a lot of comedians that can do more serious roles. Monique, another one of them. So Marlon Wayans, I have been seeing him start to do like more serious roles, but I've never seen him in a horror or thriller space before. Um, I think he was in Requiem for a Dream. I don't remember if that was like a thriller or something like that. But personally, I never seen him more in like a horror thriller, space. So I'm very much anticipating this because Marlon Wayans is one of my favorite actors. He's, he's someone that I really much like, very much like a lot of his films. So for him to, be taking this thriller route, I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, man, just same case with the Kendrick and the South Park, creators movie. There was no trailer, haven't really gotten any updates, so it seems like the movie is still going to be released this year, but I really hope we get a trailer or something soon, just because I do want to know more about this film. Some of these movies on this list, you guys see, I'm just going more off like initial announcement stuff than actual trailers and stuff like that. But yeah, I hope we get more information on that. Next, now this is the movie I was talking about when I said that while this is not in any particular order, this movie is definitely my most anticipated film of the year, and that is the Michael Jackson biopic, Michael. There is so many different reasons for why I'm looking forward to this film. For one, Michael Jackson needs no introduction. Best artist of all time. Not my personal opinion. I mean, I haven't listened to enough Michael Jackson to give a personal opinion. I am going to start listening to more of his music so that I can eventually give y'all my personal opinion. But he's known as basically the best artist of all time. Like, a lot of people will die on the hill that Michael Jackson is the best artist of all time. Um, yeah, his life, he's done a lot for the music industry. He's done a lot in his life. So I'm very much looking forward to see like what they do with this film. Like how much are they going to depict, which from what I see, it seems like they're going to try to depict literally his whole life from when he was young to up to when he died. So I'm really looking to see like how are they going to pull this off, because Michael Jackson is, even though I don't personally have too much of an opinion on his actual music. Obviously, me being the music lover that I am, I know a lot of the stories, I know a lot of the lore about his career and, his life. So it's like, as someone that knows that this man had a big impact in music, and then also someone that knows that he's done so much in his life, it's like, how are you going to do this? I feel like you need like a TV show or movies or sequels in order to tell Michael Jackson's full story. But apparently, from a lot of the early reactions, from trailers, from people that worked on set, to apparently from a lot of people, they're pulling this movie off very well. And apparently, one way they're going to address, a lot of the things that he did in his life. Apparently, I heard that this movie is going to be like around 3 to 4 hours long, which, if it is, I will be seated. I will definitely be seated. But good luck. That's all I can say is just good fucking luck. Besides Michael Jackson being the amazing person that he was, another reason I'm looking forward to this is the cast. Like, there is a lot of prominent actors and prominent people behind this film. The Jackson family is behind this film. They're doing as much as they can to try to make this film the best that they can make it. Michael Jackson's nephew, I think his name is Jafar Jackson. He's going to be playing him in the movie. Nia Long is in this, Coleman Domingo, Miles Teller, and there's just a whole bunch of other notable actors and notable names behind this movie. I think the director, I think his name is Antoine Fuqua or something like that. I don't remember seeing any of his movies personally. Maybe I need to look him up to see if I've seen any of his movies, but from what I hear, he's a very great director. So it seems like, as far as like I said before, we haven't really got a trailer yet. We really haven't gotten too much besides people talking about the quality of the film, like anybody that got a little glimpse of the film. Besides the little bit that they said about the quality of it, we really haven't gotten any trailers or anything like that. But from all the information that we gotten, it really seems like this is a biopic that has a lot of people, trying to make it the best that it can be, which I really hope it turns out to be the best that it can be, because I'm very strict on biopics. I'm very strict on it because we got a lot of shit throughout the years. All Eyes on Me was a very disrespectful biopic to Tupac. The Aaliyah biopic that was on Lifetime. Like, we've gotten a lot of stinkers. We gotten a lot of bad biopics. So, I'm very hard on biopics. And then personally, like I said, I haven't heard a lot of Michael Jackson's music personally, but for someone as notable as him, for someone and even though I haven't listened to a lot of his music, I can appreciate a lot of what he's done for the genre, not even just for the genre, but even just for music. when I say the genre, I mean like R&B, pop, rap, like genres that I listen to. The way that he influenced a lot of the artists that I listen to, even to this day, like even rappers, like even melodic rappers that I'm into said that they were heavily inspired by him. So just knowing everything that he's done, just knowing like the inspiration that you can still see to this day that he has in this music game, not even just in the music game, but even in the world. Like, this man impacted style, this man impacted music, film, television. Like, this man done so much. So when I say that this is the biopic that I think I'm gonna be the most harshest on, and when I say the most harshest, I'm not gonna go in like trying to hate it, but I am going to go in expecting a lot out of this movie. That's all I can say. I'm just gonna go in expecting a lot because it's like this is Michael fucking Jackson we're talking about. Tupac was one thing, which Tupac was also another notable name in himself, but they fucked up with that one. But with this one, you need to get this one right because it's Michael fucking Jackson. That's all I can say. You need to get this one right. So that's why it's my most anticipated film, just because I got a lot of expectations going into it. But at least from what I can see, it seems like there's a lot of good hands being, involved in this film. So really looking forward to that. And then the last movie on my most anticipated list is Mortal Kombat 2. I know, went from Michael to Mortal Kombat 2, which a lot of people was not a big fan of the first Mortal Kombat, which I think came out in 2021. But me, when I saw it, I personally enjoyed it. I liked the fight scenes in there. It was like one of the most brutal like films I've ever seen in terms of like kills and stuff like that. And also, I grew up playing the Mortal Kombat games. I wasn't too big of a story person, so I can't really personally tell you the story of the games, but I can say that I played majority of the Mortal Kombat games, at least the fighting, at least just playing the fighting, not really playing the story or anything like that. But yeah, Mortal Kombat is a series that I pretty much like fuck with a lot, and the movie was very much enjoyable. So I'm really looking forward to it, and yeah, that's pretty much it for like my most anticipated films of the year. Obviously, there are other films that I'm anticipating that I didn't mention in this episode, but pretty much these are the films that I'm looking forward to the most, and these are the films that I can probably see being in my top 10, top 15 at the end of the year. But you never know. I could be surprised. There's a lot of films that I didn't know about going into 2024 that Mystery Movie Monday put me onto and stuff like that, and they wound up being some of my favorite films of all time. Like The Long Game, that was one movie I didn't even know was even coming out at all. Whitebird was another one I didn't know was coming out at all. And like through Mystery Movie Monday, or even like just on Instagram, or like any little thing. Like, there's a lot of movies that I go into each year not knowing that they're even being made, but then some announcement or something like that will come out, or maybe a mystery movie, and then I wind up seeing one of my favorite films of the year. So yeah, you never really know. I could be surprised. There's other films on this list that, I mean, there's other films not on this list that I'm looking forward to that might wind up beating most of these films. So you never know. But yeah, man, that's it for my favorite films or my most anticipated films of the year. If you guys are looking forward to any films this year, let me know down below. Um, I kind of also was not good for streaming films. All the movies on this list are expected to come out theatrically. I'm not really much of a streaming person. I am definitely a big movie theater person. I always say go see your movies in theaters. So maybe streaming movies. There could be some really interesting streaming movies coming out this year that I just straight up ignored. But if you guys are anticipating any movies theatrically streaming, let me know down below. Maybe you guys can put me on to more movies to look forward to. But yeah, man, with all that being said, Tevin Jameer signing out. Catch you on the next one.